Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be recording this, and be sure not to ever listen to this while you're driving, because I don't want you falling asleep at the wheel, okay? So we're about to go through the process and explain how it all works, and then I'll open up for questions before we get started. Okay, so let me just get to the next screen. So just a little bit about me. So I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, I'm a soul regression therapist, I'm an Akashic Records reader, an intuitive healer, web developer, online marketer, and certified coach in life, law of attraction, nutrition and wellness, energetics, and business. Yeah, there are two types of hypnotherapy that I'm certified in. The first one being clinical, and that's around the stop smoking, weight loss, fears, phobias, self-confidence, and other sort of mental type things that you might need help with. But my specialty is in the past life and between lives regression, and that's mostly because it fascinates me way more. I'll get through these pretty quick. So, okay. So past life regressions, like we all have a story from our soul's perspective, and a past life regression is a really good way to understand, what's going on in your life now, like current patterns that you keep experiencing, any fears or traumas that you've got as well. And it will also help you to awaken your intuitive senses. So if you have been struggling to get that connection with source or spirit guides and so on, then going through this process actually helps to open you up a little bit more. It's a therapeutic technique where you're guided back in time to a relevant former lifetime where you'll be able to receive memories of your previous lives. Now, for the purpose of today's regression, we are staying on Earth. So if anyone's hoping to go to another planet, it won't happen today because it's not something I can specifically guide you through because we've got quite a few people on the call today. So it will be a light touch in comparison. Do you like my princess? She's got dodgy eyes. Anyway, so what we will also look at is okay, so the first thing we do is go into a trance state. Now, some practitioners work with meditative states and they don't quite go quite as deep. Now, I won't take you as deep as I would if you and I were doing a one-to-one session with each other, but it will be deeper usually than a meditation state. And the
Which I
method I
struggle
use,
with.
pardon?
Which I struggle with.
Yeah, so this might actually help you. And actually, one bit of advice I can give to anyone who's too much in their head when when this process starts is to wiggle your toes and move your focus from your head down to the lower part of your body. So that's always very helpful. So the technique I use has been created based on the most powerful practices used by the best practitioners in the world. So Dr. Brian, I think it's Brian Weiss or Brian Weiss, Dr. Michael Newton, and Dolores Cannon. And I have actually been hypnotized with the Dolores method, which is QHHT. It's a much, I guess, softer way of going in. It's a lot more gentle than the way I use. And one of my clients she'd been through a hypnosis twice using QHHT and they'd not been able to regress her. Whereas the method I used was able to get her out of her head because she had a lot of left brain stuff going on. We're able to get her out of her head and into the hypnosis. And there were roadblocks along the way that I was able to get her through during that one-to-one process as well. So a one-to-one past life regression is a powerful way to heal any unconscious negative patterns that you've been repeating in this and other lifetimes, whereas today's session's more going to be an observation exercise, but we will go into hopefully a past life that's relevant to something you need to know about now. Okay. So what can be covered during past life regression is, we look at soul agreements such as vows, bargains, constraints, and contracts that were set up in a past life. Deathbed decisions. So that would be something like if you promise someone you would love them forever and now you're in this life struggling with relationships, that would explain why, because that person's not in your life now. Why you experience certain fears or phobias in this lifetime. And actually, yesterday I was reading about a woman who had a phobia of bees, and she could not even walk outside for fear a bee would come close. And when she was regressed, what they learned was that her past life was when she was 4 years old running. Must have been World War II, and they were running and there were bombers flying overhead that made a buzzing sound. And she ended up being killed in that process. So yeah, that explained the whole phobia
Wow.
of bees. It wasn't really a phobia of bees, it was the buzzing sound that was triggering that fear. And after that regression, she was actually healed of that fear. Okay, and we're not even aware most of the time that we are repeating patterns from past lives. So in a group session, we can get a glimpse of these, but we may not be able to resolve them as we would in a one-to-one. So just setting your expectations there.
Am I supposed to be seeing anybody else on the screen but you?
That you can change your view. There's a gallery view. If you go above, there might be like top right somewhere, you should be able to see.
Where it says
And you
view
can
in
change
the
the view there.
corner. So what do
Yes.
I change it to?
You can show grid video, or you can show, I think, there's like all the little squares in a square shape. Then you've got one under the other.
Side by side gallery.
Yeah, you could try that one.
Ah, there we go. It worked.
There you can see everyone. Yay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Hi,
patterns
Laurie.
and connections. So you may have health issues, flare-ups that only happen when you're stressed about something in particular, that sort of thing. So there could be a past life linked to that, but maybe uncovered. There could be other chronic issues. So Laurie, I'm going to have to use him because I've done so many regressions on him. Like he has left shoulder, he had an injury actually in this lifetime and to his left shoulder through, that was a car accident. But in his past lifetimes, at the first one I ever took him into, he'd been shot by an arrow and it had healed over the point of the arrow. Like he must have broken off the rest of it.
Oh,
And then there was another lifetime where he was stabbed with a samurai sword in the same shoulder by accident, that one. It wasn't a bad situation. But
well,
yeah,
you
so
had
you
some
just
fun.
never know what might come up that links to now. Okay. Your interest in certain eras. So if you're really interested in the medieval era or like in Egypt or Atlantis or anything like that, there could be a past life connection there as well. And past life connections is in people. So like Laurie and I obviously have a bunch of past life connections, and we met in that realm between lives as well during my very first past life regression, which was amazing. And there may be people you're naturally drawn to as well, same, so that sort of thing. And you may feel really at home in a certain foreign country. You might visit there and feel like you're really like, I'm at home here. Reincarnation. Most of you probably know about all of this, but I'm going to talk about it for the benefit of the wider audience. So it's a theory that our soul never dies and it comes into a physical body to experience life, and it's here to learn and grow. And when our physical body dies, we go back home to integrate what we learned in that lifetime. And we go through that integration first before we choose our next lifetime. So just to evolve and grow, the soul needs to experience many lifetimes and bodies in different locations and circumstances. And you'll see here we've got the nun who doesn't look very happy about being a nun. And a lot of my clients, especially like even through my Akashic Records work, a lot of them did make a vow to the church to, be like to a vow of poverty, a vow of silence, vow of sacrifice, that sort of thing. And they're playing out now in this current lifetime. We do learn love and compassion throughout this process as well. So we may be a perpetrator in one life and then be the victim in the next. And while life feels unfair to a lot of us, a lot of it is experiences we've actually chosen at the soul level. And that's a really difficult pill to swallow, especially if it's a really horrible situation. And then we just need to consider each lifetime as a scene in a movie. So when if you see something or experience something that feels a bit traumatic, it's really important then to just take a bit of a step back and become the observer as opposed to the person that's involved in that scenario. Okay. I'm going to quickly touch on between lives regression. So it's a more advanced process where we go to a much deeper level. And the focus is to move beyond that death scene in the previous life into the realm between lives to get insight, information, and clarity. So you meet your higher self, your spirit guides, and any other loved ones in spirit, where we can ask questions and seek guidance for this current lifetime. And I'm going to use Laurie as an example again. I don't know if it was his higher self or his guides, I can't remember, Laurie, that started lecturing me. Like his voice completely changed and he spoke to me in a way he never speaks to me. So I knew it wasn't him that was actually speaking. So it was like he was channeling either his higher self or another being to give me instructions and advice about a number of things going on. So yeah, really interesting how that all works. So it does go a lot deeper. And in a between lives regression, you may want to seek more clarity about it, maybe a chronic illness, relationships, life purpose, past life contracts or decisions, or anything about your health, financial situation, your intuition, your career path, relationships, and all of the above, right? And you can really ask about pretty much anything. And before our session, I always ask, I go through the 10 questions you want answered and just get some clarity about those so that I can understand exactly what you actually want from that session. So I can ask your higher self and your guides for the answers to those questions. So you experience the afterlife firsthand, and you are in a trance longer than you are in a past life regression. So you spend a lot more time exploring the afterlife than you do in a past life regression. Like in a normal past life regression, not so much in this group one, we will touch on it a little bit, but in a between lives regression, we spend quite a lot of time in there. You'll come out with a lot more clarity about your path than you did before, and maybe about, what's going on for you in life. And we always get what we need, not necessarily what we want. And that's a big thing. So if you go into
Sorry. The dog next door is going off its brain. It's not shutting up and I can't focus.
I might just mute you, Jenny, if that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Yeah, so we always get what we want, not necessarily we get what we need, not what we want necessarily. So what that means is that when you go into this process, please leave your expectations out at the door, because you will be taken where your higher self or your guides or wherever want you to go, and just go with the flow with that. So Dr. Michael Newton actually goes quite deep into between lives regression, and this is the first one Laurie and I both had as well, and it was an amazing experience. So I always do these for people after they've had the past life regression. Past life regressions are really good stepping stone to making sure you get into that trance state properly and be able to answer my questions as we go along as well. So that's why that's like that. Okay. So the theta hypnosis state is a state I need to get you into. So just for clarity, so you've got the beta state, which is when you're awake and doing stuff. You've got alpha, which is one of the hypnotic states, and you're in alpha when you are concentrating on something for a long time. So that could be reading a book, it could be watching TV. This is why I don't watch TV, because when you are in the alpha state, everything goes in as truth, even if you consciously don't believe or agree with what's on the TV. So it's really important to make sure that you are allowing yourself to experience what feels right for you and good for you when you are in that state. And then we've got the theta hypnosis state, which is the bit between you're between being awake and asleep. You know, when you're just about to drift off. So what that means is that you will be aware during the session. So if you're just about to drift off and someone walks in the room, you're immediately awake. So you still have the ability to get up and walk around or speak or blow your nose or whatever you need to do during that process. So you are still in full control of your body. You're not going to start clucking like a chicken or anything like that. And it's really just important that you just go with what you see, and it will feel like you're making it up for a lot of people. They all say to me I feel like I'm making this up. And I'm like, no, just go with it. Just tell me what you see. In this particular case, you won't be able to tell me what you see. So what we'll do at the end, as soon as I bring you back out, I'll suggest that you will grab a notebook and pen, or even just type it onto your computer if you have any notes that you want to write down directly afterwards. So your subconscious mind will select the past life and show you the appropriate one. And in this process, a group process, the life you're taken to is usually going to be relevant to the current life that you're living now. And when we work together, you may see multiple past lives depending on what your higher self wants you to experience. Yeah, so they can be quite interesting. So yeah, so you're not asleep, you are aware, your memory's enhanced, and that helps you to recall more about your past lives than you would otherwise. It can feel similar to the meditative state. So if you're a good meditator, you should have no problem going into hypnosis. And you can accept or reject anything that I suggest to you. So I'm not going to tell you to do anything in particular except guide you in a particular direction, but you can choose, no, I don't want to do that. Like Laurie's king of going off script for me when I'm doing past life regressions on him. I'll say, yeah, we need to go here, and we end up somewhere completely different. So you just never know where you end up. Okay, so more about the group process. We're nearly at the end now. In a group session, you'll be guided by my lovely voice. I will not be able to ask specific questions that are relevant to you because this is more an observation process than an immersive process. So I just want to make sure your expectations are set in relation to that. This will be much quicker than a one-to-one session because we do go a lot deeper in a one-to-one session. But this session is going to be a really good toe in the water for those of you who've never experienced a past life regression before. Now, some people will struggle to get out of their head, and that can block the whole process for you. So what I suggest, I think I mentioned this before, is if you do feel like your head is getting in the way, just wiggle your toes a little bit and shift your focus down to how that feels, and that gets you immediately out of your head and into your body. And if you find you don't experience anything, don't worry. Now, some people may actually only end up in the current life, but maybe earlier in this lifetime. Wherever you end up, it doesn't matter. Just go with what comes in and follow along as best as you can. Now, if we're working one-to-one, I can actually ask specific questions to get more information out of you about that period of time, but obviously we can't do that in a group setting. Okay. Now, not all people can be hypnotized, but around 95% can. So you don't panic if you don't. And it might be that you need to listen again you can find a more peaceful setting to try again with the recording, that sort of thing. So don't beat yourself up if you don't go in straight, like for this session straight away. Now, it will be recorded, like I said, so you can listen to it at another time. Keep an open mind. So if you're going to, like I said before, if you go into the process hoping to see a specific scenario or a particular country, because we're going to go around the world in this process, this may get in the way of you seeing anything at all. And you are not making it up. Anything that comes in is coming in for a particular reason. So it might come in as something that doesn't seem obvious, but a lot of the time we see in metaphors. So you may see something that might not be a past life scenario as such, but it could be a metaphor or a symbol that explains something that's going on in your life now. Yeah, if you do see anything distressing when I take you through this process, the best thing to do is imagine yourself stepping out to the side of that scene. So you become the observer, almost like you're watching a play or a movie on a big screen. If that's not helping, elevate yourself, like allow yourself to elevate above the scene and keep going higher until it no longer distresses you. So that's probably the most important part, because I don't want this to traumatize you, okay? So just elevate yourself above the scene as high as you can until it stops feeling yuck, okay? Okay, so yeah, go with what you see, follow my instructions, trust whatever thoughts, images, or even symbols that you see. Some may flash in as well. So you may see an image and it disappears just as quickly as it flashes in. And that can be frustrating because I'm always going through that myself. So it's really hard for me sometimes to see those images. Now, another thing too, you may not always see something. Some people are more kinesthetic, so they might feel something, or you might have someone who has this knowing of what's going on with them, or they feel or they smell something. So just go with any of those senses and clairs and allow them to just deliver to you what you need to receive in the moment. It can feel like a daydream, so, or your imagination, okay? So it feels like you're thinking about something. This is why so many people tell me I feel like I'm making this up, but like some of Laurie's stories, there's no way you could make that up. In one of mine, I was on another planet in this, and I was a light being. I was just this little ball of wispy light and ended up being in this giant cave filled with these pink colored crystals. Like, what? My imagination's not that good. Now, so, as I said before, some see vividly and in great detail, others just feel or sense or even hear things. So just accept whatever comes in and just make a mental note of it for when you come out, and write down everything that you experienced during the process. And finally, the group PLR is a really gentle toe in the water approach to this work. So if you've never experienced it before, it's a really good way to just get a bit of a feel about what's involved in the process. Now, I actually start you off with what we call an induction, which just starts getting you into that trance state. Then I take you through a deepener. Now, if you're working with me one-to-one, I take you deeper again, but we're not going to do that today. And then I will take you through the process of the regression itself, just so you know. And if after this you are interested in a one-to-one, so I've got two of the websites I've got this on at the moment. So empoweredlifeprograms.com/regression or energeticsofbusinesshub.com/regression. And these are all done via Zoom, and you can email me at michelle@empoweredlifeprograms.com if you have any questions after this call. Now, before I go to questions, just make sure that when we start, you are seated or lying down, but with your head supported. I don't want you to have your head dropping back and hurting your neck. So that would not be good. Headphones aren't 100% essential. In a one-to-one, they probably are, because I need you to have a mic close to your mouth because your voice tends to go really quiet. But yeah, not essential for this. Now, if the internet connection drops, don't worry. What will happen is either you will fall asleep or you will come out of the trance and just go back to life naturally, okay? So don't believe anyone who tells you that this is a dangerous thing and that you could lose access to me and then therefore stay in a trance forever. No, you will either go to sleep or wake up. Just we're in the theta state every single night when we go to bed. So, and we come out of it quite fine. So don't worry about any of that. So any questions? I'll stop sharing that now. Or have I stunned you all?
What I'll do is I'll just mention a couple of things just because I've done so many of them. And this is not from a practitioner's perspective. This is from a recipient's perspective.
Yep.
When you're in the regression, sometimes you'll see it from the third person or sometimes you'll be first person. Either way is okay. So don't question that. Don't worry. Nothing that you see or go through in this can hurt you. Just relax. And like Ronnette was saying earlier, just play. This whole thing is just about play. The other one is to get out of your way, just let everything flow, treat it like like you're playing and stuff, and don't stop anything and question it. Just let it keep flowing. I am personally a terrible, terrible meditator. I get probably one amazing meditation out of every 5. So I'm so bad at it. I know I should practice and push through, but at the moment, my best meditations are when, well, Michelle's filmed me. I go put my feet against a tree outside. For some reason, that grounds me even further. So if you're a terrible meditator, don't panic. Just go with the process. You're going to be completely fine. Um, Sometimes it'll seem almost like it's a black and white TV and a little bit hazy because you're trying to see it and stuff. Don't worry about it. The other senses will kick in. So there you go. That's just some the stuff that I've learnt because I've done this quite a few times now. So
Yep, I've just got another person coming in. We've had a couple that have had to drop off because they have appointments. But yeah. Hi, Nicole. We're just about to get into the juicy part, so you're just in time. Oh, I can't hear. No. Hang on, I'll send a message. My noisy typing.
okay, so while Michelle's sorting that out, when I was saying just go with the flow, don't question anything. So don't stop and try and write some notes down either. If you have a phone nearby or something, obviously during the call, put your mic and everything on mute so that you're not disturbing other people in the past life regression. That's going to come obviously back through Michelle's link and then be broadcast to everybody. But by all means, get a recorder next to you, whether it's just the recording app on your phone or something, and just put it on record. And then whenever you see things or whatever, feel free to talk about them then. Just say, and you might be in the thing and go, oh, I can see I'm wearing some Roman sandals and walking on the beach and, oh, okay. I can see someone drowning or something like that. So I go out and say, oh, right, well, that's how I met my first wife. Or it could be any random thing. Just talk about it if you want to, and then that way you can come back and listen to your own recording later on. This is something that Michelle would normally do in a one-to-one session. She would record it, give you a copy. We're not going to be able to record your experience in this. We're just recording what Michelle's doing.
Yeah, we will do a
So,
debrief at the end where you can briefly
yeah,
speak about what you saw, if anything, and so you'll
absolutely.
have that captured. But yeah, like the individual steps along the way, we won't obviously be able to record because we're not in an interaction with each other during this one. Okay, are we all ready? Yay! Okay. So as I mentioned before, we're going to start with an induction, which gets you started to go into that trance. We'll then do a deepener. So that probably takes a few minutes to do that. And then we're going to go on a little bit of traveling around the world. And so we're staying on Earth for this regression. And I hope you experience some interesting things. And then what we'll do then is go into that lifetime. We'll then move to the death scene, and I'll bring you out after that once we get a bit of insight from there. And I'll give you a few minutes to write down what you need to write down. Okay. So sit comfortably in your chair, or on your bed, or wherever you are. If you are on a bed, just make sure you're propped up a little bit, not lying straight back so you don't fall asleep. Now, I want you to look up. So look above and focus your eyes on a spot or a point on the ceiling. So don't look around, just focus only on one spot. Now take a nice deep breath. And you breathe in through your nose and hold it till it's comfortable to exhale through your mouth. Good. Now close your eyes down and just allow yourself to begin to relax as you follow me. And just begin to focus your attention now on your eyelids. Focus on the inside of those eyelids and begin to relax all of those teeny tiny muscles, the nerves and the fibers in the eyelids, to the point that they just won't work. They may begin to feel heavy now. So just keep relaxing those eyelids to the point that they just won't work. And when you are sure that they just won't work, I want you to test them. Gently test those eyelids just to make sure they won't work. Good. Now that's the feeling of hypnosis coming on. Stop testing and relax them again. Now just focus and begin to send that relaxation all the way down to the tips of your toes, like a warm wave of relaxation. Good. In a moment, I am going to ask you to open your eyes and then close them again. And when you close them again, just go 10 times deeper into relaxation. So let those eyes open. Good. And close them. And go 10 times deeper. In a moment, I am going to ask you to open those eyes and close them again. And this time, just going to double your relaxation. So let those eyes open and close them again. And this time, just double your relaxation. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to open those eyes and close them yet again. But this time, we're going to go much deeper. So let those eyes open. Now close them. Go much deeper. Relax. Relax way down. Good, you're all doing great. And as you continue to relax very deeply now, listening to the sound of my voice and the sounds of the words that I am using, just become aware of any other sounds. Sounds from within the building you're in, sounds in the room, out on the street, sounds coming from inside you, and the sounds of my words as they are rising and falling and changing. And these sounds can be so interesting, and you can find them relaxing you. And the only sound you need to listen to as you hear any other sounds is the sound of my voice. And that sound can help you to relax and settle even more. And you can find yourself relaxing and going deeper down into the chair or on the bed as you relax to the words. And as you relax and go even deeper, perhaps listening to all of those sounds. Now just become aware of your body, whether it's in the chair or on a bed, the feel of that on your back, the weight of those legs, and how those arms are lying there relaxed. Those arms can get as heavy as the legs. They're getting heavier. And under those hands, the fingers, you become aware without moving of the texture of the material and how the texture is both similar to and different from the feeling of heavy arms and legs. And you might feel the weight increasing as you're lying there, thinking about the texture of the sounds the shapes of the words, as that body is relaxing more and more now. And as you just focus on your breathing, perhaps aware of how your breath is allowing you to relax more and more with every breath, letting go deeper and deeper, relaxed, down into the chair or the bed now. Now focus on those shoulders. They're loosening, and the sounds go round and the weight is relaxing, and you are going down, and those gentle, steady breaths can remind you of how you can ignore everything as you settle down to relax. Just letting go more and more, and allowing the mind to drift away, dreamy, drifting, floating, like a dream taking over, and enjoying the feelings of release and calm as everything is settling more comfortably now, like something is finally settled. And using any sounds to become even more relaxed. Imagine going down deeper and deeper. There is nothing to think about right now and nothing to do, except drifting down and enjoying that feeling of how easily you let go when you want to. And each breath is so relaxing now. You're feeling everything relaxing, softening, and loosening more and more. You're enjoying the release, and you're aware now that your face is relaxing. The jaw is relaxing. Thinking or not thinking, aware of all tension, it's melting completely. Relaxed, release. Not thinking, not knowing, not caring. Every muscle relaxed, every organ relaxed, every cell and tissue relaxed. Feeling so good and calm, knowing you could do something, but you couldn't be bothered. If you hear any sounds in the room or any sounds outside of the room, they are only natural noises occurring in the background. They will not bother you or distract you in any way. If you hear anything, it will just fade and become part of the background. And each and every time I hypnotize you, and you want hypnosis, you can go into hypnosis deeper and faster each and every time into hypnosis. As you take another deep breath in, and as you breathe out, feel how it sets off another wave of deep relaxation that now moves all the way through from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, taking you twice as deep, twice as relaxed, feeling more and more comfortable in your surroundings, quiet inside, feeling very safe, secure, and peaceful as you go deeper and deeper down. The body is now deeply relaxed. And as the soothing energy of relaxation flows from the feet and enters the head, cleansing the entire body as it flows, this relaxation moves even deeper now as it reaches into your mind, relaxing any busy thoughts as it does. So the mind becomes clearer, calmer, and quiet, as each breath in helps you to feel in touch with your deeper self. You are now at your own natural level of relaxation. And from this level, you may move to any other level with complete awareness and function at will. You are completely aware of at every level of the mind. You can accept this is something that you want. It is here and it is now, eager to learn, eager to explore. You can take a deep breath now. And as you exhale, perhaps you notice a drifting is happening. Or maybe you feel light or heavy as the body is so deeply relaxed. And more significance is given to your own inner world, to your inner experience, and less importance is attached to my voice. Stored deeply in your unconscious mind are memories of other times and places. And while in this pleasant state of focused relaxation, you can look deeper into the inner world or inner part of your mind, and you can see your soul's vision and hear the true voice of your heart. And with this attention comes new understanding, growth, and healing. Know that you can travel very easily beyond this room in your imagination to any place that you need to go to resolve any unfinished issues or feelings. I want you to imagine, sense, or feel that you are leaving this room in your imagination, in your mind's eye. Just begin to sense or feel yourself traveling above the building that you are in, drifting and floating up and up into the sky. And I want you to float up to a fluffy white cloud and sit on it. Notice what that would feel like to sit on a cloud. And you don't have to worry. It will hold your weight just like magic. It is a very comfortable cloud. So just lay back on that cloud and just let it absorb all of your weight. It's such a beautiful, wonderful feeling. Feeling safe. It's like you don't have any weight at all. You can become one with the beautiful cloud. And if you lay back on that cloud, let it absorb your weight if you want to. You could even wrap the cloud around you like a warm wool blanket and snuggle down in the cloud. That's such a beautiful, comfortable and safe feeling. And it's almost as though you don't even have a body as you become one with that beautiful, soft, comfortable and safe cloud. And this cloud is floating through the air, carrying you with it, soft and protected and comfortable and safe. Drifting and floating, floating and drifting. And this cloud floats over the land and over the valleys, over the mountains, and even out over the ocean if it wants to, carrying you with it. Soft, protected, comfortable, and safe. Drifting and floating, floating and drifting over the land, over the valleys, protected and safe. And this cloud is like magic because not only can it carry you over the land and over the valleys, it can also carry you around the world, visiting various countries or places in your imagination. And as you float around the world, Just see or feel how many countries draw you in or attract you. It doesn't matter if you have physically been to these places or not. You may have seen them in movies or read about them in magazines. But in your imagination, you find yourself going there. So do that now. Drifting on the cloud to visit places, countries, regions around the earth that attract you or draw you in some way. In particular, find yourself being drawn to countries or areas that have some kind of charge, where you may have a feeling that you need to go back there, or that something is unfinished. It may not be very distinct at first, but you feel an attachment there. You may even feel uncomfortable with some countries. Notice that this is an indication that something needs to be seen here. As you continue to float and drift around the world, notice a particular country or place that you keep feeling more strongly drawn to, more than all the others. And when you have identified a country that has a particular strong charge, let it draw you to it. Feel yourself going into that country and coming fully down to the earth. Coming off the cloud, down to the surface, off the cloud, and going back and back in time and space, and finding yourself in another lifetime, in another body in this country that has an attraction to you. As soon as you are drawn, or as soon as you are down on the earth, look down towards your feet. Sense your feet on the ground. Notice what you are wearing. Maybe you have bare feet, or maybe you have boots. And then notice the rest of your body. Notice any clothing around your upper or lower body. Do you have elaborate clothing or simple clothing? Are you aware of a large or small body? Are you male or are you female? Take it all in, allow the images to form. And remember, you may not see visions as such, but go with your other senses. What do you feel? What do you hear? You may notice how old you are. Are you a young person or an older person? Are you carrying anything in your hands? Do you have anything over your shoulders? Where are you standing, sitting, or lying? What kind of place are you in? Are you inside or outside? Become aware of your surroundings and look around if you can. What are you experiencing? What are you feeling? Are you involved with people, or are you alone in this place? Are there dwellings around you? Just take in the whole scene. Be aware of what's happening, whether you understand it or not. Again, just let those images begin to form. And notice your thoughts and your reactions and your feelings. How are you feeling in this moment? Spend some time seeing what you do. Do you move towards something or someone? Or are you doing something particular? Are you retreating or moving away from this scene? Or are you reflecting or engaged in some physical activity? Whatever the scene is, bring it into full consciousness. Notice your reactions, feelings, thoughts, or possibly even body pains. Now I want you to move forward in time. You can do this directly to another scene in this same lifetime. Perhaps moving now to a happy scene, a fulfilled scene where something good is happening in your lifetime, or a turning point in this life. On the count of 3, you will be fully in a different scene. 1, 2, 3, and you are there. Allow the images to form. So where are you now? Again, feel your body, your feet on the ground. Notice what's going on around you. Are you with people? Is there a celebration or event going on that gives you pleasure? Does it involve you directly, or are you just witnessing something? Just bring to consciousness what is going on in this moment. Perhaps you're in a quiet place, solitary. Some deep inner feelings are coming up in you. What brings this about? What is getting you so deeply, or getting to you so deeply? Bring in these feelings. Is it happiness or joy or something else? Spend a little time in this place and go deeply into those feelings. I will give you a moment to allow those images to form. Now, I want you to move to the very end of this particular lifetime. You will briefly see how you die, and we will go beyond your death as well. Don't stay in it. Go beyond to a place where you are no longer in a body, but you know that you have died, and you know that this is your body down there beneath you, but that life is over. On the count of 3, you will be fully in a different scene beyond your death. So allow the scene of your death to come through. When I count to 3, we will be in a scene beyond your death. 1, 2, 3, and you are there. See briefly how you died. Maybe you feel strong feelings at your death. Maybe there is physical pain, but know that the physical life is over. Are there any patterns or situations that you were repeating in your current life? If you are carrying pains or feelings, they are simply leftovers from that life, and you can leave them behind you now. That life is now finished, and you can let it all go, or begin to let it go. So I want you to consider any lessons or messages from that past lifetime, anything that is relevant to your life right now. What were those lessons? What were the messages? What insight has this experience helped you to understand about your life now? So now, carrying all of these brief memories and this sense from several scenes in this lifetime, from your death and going beyond, I want you to bring these memories back into your consciousness and into the place that you are sitting in the present day reality. And on the count of 5, you will come back into the room where you are and be fully awake. 1, energy and muscle tone returning from the toes, up your legs, into your torso and into the top of your head. 2, wiggling your toes now, awareness of your body increasing. 3, taking a deep breath in as you get closer to being fully awake. 4, feeling more awake and more energized. 5, remembering the thoughts, the feelings, and everything else that came to you during this exercise. And 5, you are awake. Remember those thoughts, and it would be valuable to reflect on your experiences, maybe writing it down or drawing a picture. So take some time now to write down what happened, any insights that you received from this regression, and then we'll chat about that in a moment. And when any of you are ready to speak, go ahead. I know this is a very quick one. When we go one-to-one, you're usually under for a hell of a lot more time than this one, but we can't get as deep and get as much insight when it's in a group setting. Hey, Nicole. Were you crying, Ronnette? My eyes always water when I close them.
Just waking up.
How did you find that?
I can't remember so much, but I went to Egypt,
Ah,
and you know, like not Cleopatra, but the only thing I can sense it's like, you know, like that time,
yeah.
and then like short hair, black hair, and then there was like a guy. I'm kind of like, probably I feel like I'm probably scared of that guy, like a bald, big guy. But I really like can see much of the area or the place, and really like that's all that like shown to me. Yeah, like the lady in
Mm.
that time. And
Yeah.
then when you said like go to countries, right? So this is the moment where I question, because I'm so interested in Egypt, whether or not my mind
That's
should be
probably a
there, right?
sign that you've had a life there for sure, or maybe several. Mm. I've always had an interest in Egypt as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't see my death though. I feel like I'm so like deep in it, like relaxed,
Yeah.
but probably a part of me, I won't say it's fighting, but it's like it kind of goes out of that
Yeah, and
scene.
yeah, when we're doing one-to-one, it's a lot easier because I can actually talk you through anything that's preventing you from seeing what you need to see. There's a few techniques I can use to make sure you go back in, because some people do come in and out throughout the whole process. So that's completely normal. It's just in a group setting, it's really hard to know that. So yeah, but yeah, one-to-one, we can deal with that.
Thanks.
Awesome. Anyone else? Jacqui.
Hello. This was surprising. Like, as I was doing it, I was doing that. Am I making this shit up? Because
Yeah.
it was, I was a Native American
Oh,
female in my 20s. I've got a continuous issue with my female bits in my abdomen,
yep.
and from a jealous enemy fearing me in the stomach,
Oh,
and then continuous infections throughout my life.
in that particular lifetime.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
So I
wow.
feel like I'm making this stuff up because I don't.
No, like you wouldn't have made, if someone had said make some stuff up, you wouldn't have come up with that.
I don't know, but I've just had this connection with
Yeah.
Native American things for a while. So
Oh, there
I
you
don't
go.
know. Sitting by the fire with my then father, and it brought me to tears because of losing my father.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm wondering if that's the same soul.
could be in my same, yeah.
Oh, now I want to cry.
Telling me that I need, like, I've thought about you, Laurie, with your feet against the tree. And it was saying that my issue with my difficulty with meditation is I need to connect to source and the nature. So
And that's a Native American thing too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I died as an old lady, very rested, with lots of loved ones around me. So it was good.
Beautiful.
So
That is
yeah.
amazing.
But I was
Awesome.
still very much in my, I can't get out of my head. But
What you may all find is that you'll have insights come to you later today, or even while you're sleeping tonight as well. Like things may keep coming through because you've opened up that door. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else want to share?
I'd like to share. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hi, Nicole.
Hi. What a way to meet people.
Yeah, no. Sleep for half of it.
Yeah, so I saw I was drawn to a rainforest in Brazil,
Oh,
and I saw myself as, I think I was a man. Like I had long hair, but I was sort of a slight, like I wasn't that tall and I wasn't that bulky, but I think I was a man. Um, And the first scene, it's like a celebration in this rainforest. I'm seeing other people, I guess, of my tribe or something. And there's music, and I can hear the music, and it's like flutes and drums,
wow.
kind of like yeah, like a reedy flute, like a pan flute sound or something. And then the second scene, I saw it before you said like it might be something pleasant, so it was not pleasant.
Oh, damn it.
Um, Like now see another scene and it was like really instantaneous. I saw like part of the rainforest on fire, it was burning.
Oh,
And the feeling I got was like it was not a natural fire. Someone had started the fire. I don't know if we were under attack or if it was against the forest or what had happened, but I really felt like it really felt like there was this wound in the earth. You know, I was really experiencing it in my own body and my own psyche, and I felt a lot more, yeah, like I was less tied to language, and it was this more kind of intense in my body way of experiencing what was happening. It was really personal. And then I saw this like temple with all these stairs, and it was a stone thing in the rainforest. And I'm like seeing the temple, and then I can see the part of the forest from the temple. I'm higher up that's burning, but I guess I'm now further away. And then the thing I see for my death, not super, I see my face is now painted. My long hair is like laid around me, and I'm in this boat on a river.
Oh.
And so I think, and I'm pretty old, so I think it's either that I'm like frail, you know, I'm old at the end of my life and they've put me in this boat to kind of float down the river and die. Or, and this part I'm not really sure about, I almost saw something like third eye area as if someone had like hit me. So I don't know if I was like killed, but it wasn't, whatever happened, it wasn't against me. It was like for me. So it was some kind of tribal tradition. It was either that they killed me because I was going to die, or that was some symbolic thing. I don't really know. But
That's amazing.
that was how I died.
And
Yeah,
did you get any other
interesting.
insights, lessons, or anything from this life, or?
Well, I got something about how I've been feeling like the earth has been calling to me. It's something I've been feeling. It was kind of this memory of like, yep, that's right. Like the earth is still calling, you know, it was calling and it's still calling. And that was kind of the clear, there was something else, but I don't quite remember now. But there was a lot about like, I think I had been some kind of elder in my tribe, at least by the time I died. I just felt very respected and like I'd lived a really peaceful life of integrity.
Yeah.
So it was this kind of peaceful feeling.
Looks like we're getting a few connections to the earth going on. Everyone's going to have to go stick their feet on a tree like Laurie does. Thank you for sharing. And now we've got Angela can't get her mic to work, but she was a woman in late Tudor times, rich, probably an heiress, loved the outdoors, was in love with her arranged husband, but found him with another woman. Oh, that's not good. So yeah, okay. And Jenny, did you want to share? Well, we might have lost Jenny.
No, you muted her.
No, it's
Oh, no,
okay.
she's unmuted. She can
Yeah.
unmute. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I got nothing. I didn't even go under.
All right. So what I would suggest for you, Jenny.
I had my bird decided to come over and walk across the lounge and start nibbling and carrying on in my ear, and then someone started a rattle gun outside, and it was just like, yeah,
I'll get this posted as soon as I can for you, so you can find a less busy time in your day to try
it
again.
just happens here all the time.
Yeah.
And also when you went really, really silent for a while,
Yep.
and then you spoke again, I had my eyes closed and you shocked me open. It scared me. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, when I've got someone in the room with me physically, I play like a theta brainwave music to sort of keep the noise happening, but it's a bit hard when you're doing it on Zoom, because I've noticed in some of the calls that I've been on where music's played, it doesn't come through as well as I would like it to, and it becomes quite distracting. I can't even speak now. But yeah. But yeah, try listening to it later, Jenny, and hopefully you'll be able to get some visions, even at bedtime or something like that might be a good time. And then you can just drift off to sleep afterwards.
I am aware that I do have past lives in Egypt. I was told by my angel light, my friend of angel, my angel of light friend. She told me I had 2 past lives in Egypt. One as a male, one as a female.
Yeah.
She also told me that the reason why I've gone through everything in this lifetime, when I was married to the man that I was, is because 3 lifetimes ago, I was a white witch with her and another friend of mine, and I rebelled and I went with him, and he was a very evil, evil man. And I kind of sort of followed along with him because he kind of like manipulated me with him. and I didn't learn those lessons, so I got thrown back.
Yeah,
into
we do both sides, don't we? So
and then I got thrown to the next lifetime and tried to sort of regression out of it, but still stayed in that nasty state. And then the next lifetime, I was getting better, rebelling even more. But this lifetime, I didn't do anything wrong. But I also had I've dreamt about things from my past life as well. Like I had a feeling about knives, something to do with a fascination
there
with
could have been a
knives.
stabbing or something.
Well, it was me that did it. I
Yeah.
found out because I did a massage course for Swedish technique back in 2013, and I didn't understand why I was drawn to it. But then I had a dream later on that I was, okay, just excuse what I'm about to say, but I was a topless massager. And it was back in the day when guys could get away with anything, you know, there were no rules.
Yeah.
So, and I was with another woman, and we were standing there and we were talking, and we said, okay, so we'll just we'll do this guy and then we'll just finish him off, like, you know, with a knife.
Yes, it all comes around, doesn't it? And so maybe in this life you're just repairing all that karma and you know,
Well,
seeing
yeah,
the other
yeah.
side and come out the other side. Now, Laurie, what did you experience?
Oh, shock and awe, I went off script.
Oh, what? Really? He always goes off script. And the very
No.
first time I ever hypnotized him, I was just like, oh, what do I do? Yeah.
So I was up in the cloud and I'm going to go to Italy. I'm drawn to Italy.
Oh.
Then I went, no, I don't need to eat. Weird.
I
And
love
then I
Italian
went,
food, so
I'm
maybe
gonna
it was
I'm
there.
gonna stay here on the cloud.
Really?
And yeah, and I just stayed there and I decided I was going to just receive love and
Mm.
healing. And it was amazing. I just felt myself go deeper and deeper. And I literally felt myself sink into the cloud. And then I couldn't see anything. I was just the cloud. And it's interesting because I remember at the start of this, I said, look, I only have about one good meditation out of every five. And my meditation this morning with my feet against the tree, I was asking for a specific type of healing and it was in my foot, but they said, no, it's linked to your heart. Learn to love yourself and this ailment will be gone by Christmas.
Oh.
And I went, oh, what am I doing in the cloud? I don't, oh, I love it here. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to lie here and just accept love. And the important thing is I didn't receive it from an external source or anything. I didn't get it from God or anything. I mean,
It just came in.
the point is I just learnt to love myself in that moment. And it was actually very, very peaceful. And all the noise for the first time in a long time stopped. Just stopped.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So that was cool for me.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh,
So
my
sorry,
sweetie.
anyone in Italian or in Italy or something. I
Didn't
didn't
go
pop in
visit.
and say g'day. They didn't care.
They
I
were
stayed in
waiting
the
for you
cloud.
and you didn't show.
That's
Oh, well, see, Laurie and I have been planning for the last, I don't know, week and a half for me to do another Between Lives regression on him to get some more insight. I'll probably get another lecture from his higher self or his spirit guides or something, but but yeah, lots of fun. Any questions from anyone? No, we're all good. No messages in the chat. No. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for this group past life regression. I hope you got a lot out of it. And as I said, this is a really light touch, toe in the water approach to past life regression. With a one-to-one, we go a hell of a lot deeper because I'm asking a lot of questions and you're actually verbally answering the whole time and the whole thing's recorded. That way we can capture exactly what's happening as we take you back in time into that past life. And we may go into several past lives if your higher self wants it. Otherwise, we end up in that realm between lives where we can seek more guidance and even healing from your spirit guide team or anyone else who's in that realm ready to speak to you. So just to give you one example, I had a client who had a difficult relationship with a family member. And when we took her back in time, we found that she was very repressed in her marriage. So she was in an arranged marriage, and back in the day, I think it was in the 1800s or something like that, she had to do what her husband said to do, right? And he wasn't very good about it. And when we went into the healing space in the realm after death, we called in any of her other versions of herself from the other past lives that had been in a similar type of situation where they had been repressed in that life as well. And 11 other women walked in. And she realized through that process that the buck stops with her in this life now. It's time to stand up for herself and not be under the thumb of other people, whether that be male, female, whatever. So, and she has since completely transformed her relationship with that family member. So it's been a really beautiful thing for her to experience. So yeah, but yeah, lots of stuff that we can address depending on what's going on for you. But if you do have any questions, please reach out to me. And if you want to book a session, head over to the website, and there's a few different options there. And there's a package if you decide you want to go through both. And thanks, Angela. And sorry, I can't talk to you. Technology, eh?
Can I be on the cloud with you, Laurie?
You want to go up in the cloud? You go
Yeah,
sit.
why
Yeah, I
You
not?
go
want to be
sit
up
up
in the
there and look at
clouds.
Italy.
I want to
There's
be up in
plenty
the
of
clouds
room.
because, damn, I've been seeing so many
Gonna just
rainbows
stop the
lately. It's
recording.
ridiculous.
I'm just going to stop the recording now, but thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. And I might do another one of these in the near future, so keep an eye out.
Thank you. It was
Thank
brilliant.
you.
No,
Thank
no
you.
problem.
Thanks, Michelle.